like 90% of organizations are reassessing their tech stacks. That means most softwares are on the chopping block right now. And so if you haven't shifted your messaging for value, are you the tool that can do, like ClickUp's done it, the all-in-one project management? You're seeing a lot more hero section headlines that say fill revenue, drive revenue, fill pipeline. You need to be shifting your messaging so that you come off as the invaluable tool, or the tool that can do multiple things with one platform. You can consolidate platforms. So that kind of messaging is really important right now.
Hey there, product marketers. Welcome to GTM Happy Hour, where I meet with experts from product to marketing, sales to success. Product marketing is evolving into go-to-market strategy leadership, and PMMs are having to find ways to connect with the cross-functional team members they need to lead go-to-market launches. I'm Jamie Walsh. I'm a product marketing and go-to-market advisor who's been in B2B SaaS for over 20 years. Over that time, I've had quite a few drinks with the experts that I admired, and it helped me grow to where I am today. I hope you enjoy the conversation.
Today I welcome Auroriele Hans to the show. Auroriele is a B2B email and messaging strategist who specializes in customer-driven messaging for SaaS brands. She shares her experiences over her 15-year career, the importance of customer interviews, the role of AI in marketing, and the need for continuous customer engagement. We discuss the challenges of crafting effective messaging, the tools used in marketing, and the lessons learned from early career mistakes. Let's grab a drink.
So, Auroriele, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate the time. It's a little later here. I'm on the East Coast, but I'm glad you made it work. Since it is 7:30, I am going to have a beer. But you feel free to do whatever it is you do at this time of the day.
Well, thanks. Yeah, I've got my kombucha.
Kombucha, okay.
Yeah.
Then we'll cheers to your kombucha.
Cheers.
All right. So, why don't you introduce yourself to the audience, and for those that don't know who you are.
Auroriele, I'm a B2B email and messaging strategist, and I really specialize in helping SaaS brands stand out in crowded categories and channels with customer-driven messaging so that they can build trust and make people love their products.
Nice. And so, what are some examples of some of the campaigns that you've run? If you can talk about it, or you can talk about even some of the companies that you've worked for.
For sure. I was the go-to email copywriter for Content Staff for over a year. Did a lot of their event campaigns. And then I've done customer-driven messaging guides for Cloudal, working on one for Popple right now. Worked with the Travel Agent Collective and did one for them. And so in this last year, I've done a ton of customer-driven messaging, which is doing jobs to be done, focused customer interviews with SaaS companies' customers, and then crafting the messaging that, like, what to say and how to say it, so that they have the talking points to use in their marketing, and they have the voice of customer data, the sticky voice of customer data, which can help them stand out, especially in the age of AI, if they're incorporating their customer's own voice in their messaging and copy. So that's more popular, I think, right now because of AI, because, like, sure, AI can execute, but no brand should be asking it what to say, right? That's a big part of your differentiation and how you show up. And so it's really important to hone that in and to be getting that from a mix of, who you are as a brand and what your customers need, want, and what they say about you.
Yeah. So maybe talk a little bit about the tactics of launching a campaign like that. So what's the timeline look like for you in terms of how quickly you want to get to a certain number of customer interviews or survey responses, and what's too much and what's not enough?
It's generally pretty painless. Like, I will, bring on board a new SaaS company. I'll interview the founder for 90 minutes. And then typically within the next 2 weeks, they will connect me with 5 to 7 of their customers. And I'll conduct those interviews over the following 2 weeks. So really in about 2 months, they'll have a 30+ page messaging deck with, insights for the whole buyer's journey, like from when their customer first became aware they had a problem, to all the pushes and pulls and anxieties and desires they had throughout that process, and what they tried and like failed solutions. And that just really helps to know how to message at every stage of the customer journey.
And what's the timeline or what's the criteria you have for the customers that you interview? So let's say you're focusing more on you know, the situation when you bought, right? In a lot of cases, 2 years have gone by. I don't remember what I ate yesterday. I may not have been the person who made that decision. There's turnover at the companies and moving on. So, like, talk a little bit about that. What's the guidance that you give to your clients about which customers you want to talk to about what?
Fortunate enough because I've worked with more startups and scale up that typically, the customers they've connected with me, for example, like for a few of these messaging projects, I mainly talk to founders of other SaaS companies. So when you're a startup or a scale up, you have a small team. And so they tend to sell to a lot more similar like startups and scale ups where you don't have a huge team or like even a lot of years, for the company. Like often the purchase is fairly recent, maybe a year old. And I'm talking to either like a VP of marketing or I'm talking to oftentimes the founder.
What's the typical type of client that you like to work with? I think you talked about startups and scale ups, but any particular vertical, any particular geography, or B2B, B2C?
B2B, I mean, I think cybersecurity is really fun because the hero's journey perfectly aligns with its narrative of, you have real villains. The software is the trusted sidekick of the customer. And so you can really have this strong narrative structure to your marketing using the hero's journey. It really fits in with it perfectly. Like it's one of the best industries where you can position your software as your customer's ally in this like high stakes battle, right? Right? Protecting the company. And not only that, there are other like figurative villains, right? Like how do we translate the importance of this to the C-suite because they often don't understand? How do we get adoption from other departments? How do we get employees, to follow best practices because human error is one of the biggest risks for them. And so they have a lot of challenges across the board besides real villains. And so I think that's one of the funnest, the most fun industries to work with. Though I will say Martech is really fun too because I'm a marketer. So I really understand the persona, right? It's much easier to put myself in other marketers' shoes and sell the software. And so I think and Martech's I think marketing's fun. So selling marketing software is fun for me too.
Yeah. It's tricky though, because like we're so cautious of what we're seeing because we've tried it all before and we know when we're being pitched. But to your point, it doesn't matter if you're being real with what it is you do and you're giving them access to the tool and allowing them to see it for themselves. And you have such great proof points with existing customers to really share with them and allow them to talk to each other and have a community even where they can freely just tell any war stories that they might have or tell them about great successes. What's something that was like a total disaster for you? And it doesn't have to be in email marketing. It can be something else that you did in the past.
A total disaster. I mean, everything was a total disaster when I first started, right? Not a total disaster, but yeah, I definitely had some horror stories from just, everyone when they're a newbie getting started makes a lot of rookie mistakes. So I think, back in those days, there were just like, I can't think of a specific example, but just like, when I first started as a marketer, I wrote like a lead capture landing page, like a
Mhm.
really long one. And it's for free offer. It was for free offer, like a guide or something. Like the if it's a free offer, it's short. The more it costs, the longer the page gets. And so
Mhm.
I just made that rookie mistake of, writing this really long, elaborate page for a free guide.
Yeah. But you survived that, right? And you got to stay on and try again, or was that somebody that just had enough and had to move you on, or you moved yourself on?
Fortunately, I've worked with that client off and on for like 10 years.
Yeah,
So they
okay.
tease me about it.
That's funny. What's this the special thing that you have? Like, what is your superpower in B2B?
Experience, like 15 years of experience. And so I do a lot of product marketing. I do a lot of email marketing and messaging and copywriting. And so a lot of product marketers aren't strong writers, and a lot of email strategists aren't good at automation. And I can do all of it. And so, kind of where those like individual professions like are typically weak, I'm strong, and then I do both.
So, what's your what's your favorite sidekick, I should say? Like, what tool is like the your biggest secret weapon?
My biggest secret weapon? Honestly, I'm having ChatGPT help me a lot with like just as an assistant. Like it just helps with all these little tasks. Like clipping or mining voice of customer data, like I'll do the interview, I'll watch a recording. So I know what I'm looking for, and then I'll have the transcript, but I'll have it go through and pull it, and I'll use that as like a directory that what it pulls isn't always complete enough, and then I'll fill in the blanks, but it just shaves hours off of organizing voice of customer data. And like, I don't know if I feel like most marketers who use it all the time, like there's just all these little efficiencies constantly, like I had to update. There was like a lot of updating to a lot of marketing collateral, and there was very detailed. And I'm tired. We're tired. We work long days, and I am like, did I update all these specific things correctly? Can you check like these hundreds of pages? And it can do it in a few minutes. So
Yeah.
I think it's not great at a lot of things, but I think it's great at a lot of like it's a huge efficiency booster.
Now, are you using just like a standard prompt, or have you built yourself like a custom GPT for certain tasks? Do you have it like update its memory on certain things when you learn or want to give it instructions and continue giving you that type of quality? What's your
Yeah, I have a
process?
custom GPT for mining customer data. Then the brands I work with often already have custom GPTs. So, yeah, custom GPTs across the board.
Yeah. And email automation. Do you have like some templates that you use? Is there a particular tool? Are you a Lemlist fan? Are you an Instantly gal? Do you use any tools at all, or what's that look like for you?
HubSpot, I use done a lot more on the marketing side versus lead generation automation. So it's a lot more like, drip campaigns or like onboarding emails. So yeah, I've used HubSpot a lot, and I love it. It's a really robust platform.
For onboarding with like SaaS tools, do you get to tie into like Mixpanel or Amplitude or anything like that to like get trigger events from the applications that people use, or what's that been looking like?
For sure. I haven't set up that kind of email, but I've planned and strategized it for people. Yeah, I definitely recommend one of my last clients I think had user list for the triggered ones, or was
Mhm.
it? So yeah, I've definitely recommended it in my strategies, but I haven't gone in and done the triggered ones before.
Let's talk about what you have going on. Like what's up and coming for you. You have something that you're working on that you're ready to launch, or um, you have a book coming.
Yeah, so I'm really excited. I wrote a long form article for copy hackers on why right now during this SaaS slump, this tech slump, it's more important than ever to be interviewing your customers and crafting customer driven messaging, because a big mistake a lot of SaaS companies are making, and it's across the board from startups to category leaders, is letting AI do everything. Getting the message from AI, like push button marketing. We can do this so much faster. But the truth about it is copywriting has always been 80% research and 20% execution. AI is a tool for execution. And I think that's the line, those lines get blurred a lot. And you still need to, you can use AI to help you, but you still need to be doing customer interviews and research and doing all that work and creating customer feedback loops into your marketing and doing all that work on your messaging continually. And that's fine once you have that dialed. If you want to work with AI to execute it and you have a professional overseeing it, cool. Like that works. but just having creating a custom GPT without that data and just having it give you very tinny robotic sounding copy is a big mistake that a lot of companies are making right now. So that article is supposed to be coming out this summer.
Hmm.
Uh, and then, yeah, I have my newsletter where I'm talking about recession messaging. So just, we have the tariffs going on. Saw a statistic the other day, like 90% of organizations are reassessing their tech stacks. That means most softwares are on the chopping block right now. And so if you haven't shifted your messaging for value, are you the tool that can do like ClickUp's done it, like the all-in-one project management? You're seeing a lot more like hero section headlines that say like fill revenue, drive revenue, fill pipeline. You need to be shifting your messaging so that you come off as the invaluable tool or the tool that can do multiple things with one platform. You can consolidate platforms. So that kind of messaging is really important right now. And
Yeah.
so that's LinkedIn newsletter. I'll be sharing examples of that kind of messaging in the next one that comes out in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. I mean, I know that there's a lot of, legacy SaaS companies that really aren't in a place where they're cycling on a, shorter basis than 6 to 9 months, right? And at this point, like the news cycle, the release cycles are much, much faster. You've got to have a sort of an always on process that's running in the background, getting some of that insight, but you need a machine and you need to have conversations, right? I always tell people like, this isn't surveys or interviews because yes, an AI can do that, but the insights aren't going to come from interviews or surveys. They might get some of that information if you're looking for, aggregation of certain themes, but still a conversation has to happen. You can create a discussion guide to lead the conversation towards things that you're interested in, but it really can't be a robotic kind of question answer. You really have to see the other person's reaction to certain things, know a little bit of context that makes the questions you ask a little different from customer to customer, and really let the conversation drift towards where it is or where it needs to go. And an AI can't really do that. Personal conversations can help steer the conversation a little bit deeper than it needs to go, or you might stumble on something that you need to react to pretty quickly. um, well, I really appreciate the time, Auroriele. It's been a pleasure talking with you. We've gotten to know each other over the last couple of months, but all the best to you in your newsletter, and keep putting out your videos as well.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah.
Here.
All right. Cheers to your kombucha.
Yeah. All right. Well, have a great night.
All right.
I'll see
Thank
you.
you. You too.
Bye.
All right. Bye.